Excuse me. Good morning. It is September 3rd. And one of the reasons why I was trying to figure things out, this is only the second time that I have ever produced a YouTube on this MacBook Pro Air. And I'm discovering new things, and I really, it really is the right machine for me, because actually my new genius bar geek friend Tom Risk, who picked up on my technology skills quicker than anybody I have ever met in my life, really set things up for me and made a very a great experience for me, even better than I thought I was getting into. So, Tom, thank you very much. So, I have been producing YouTubes. This is my 17th year of producing YouTubes. And I have over 2,500 hours that I have produced over the years. And the story that I'm going to share today is absolutely the toughest story for me to tell of all the ones that I have told. And it will not take you long to figure that out. But if you take nothing else away from the YouTube, or if you want to go off and do something else, you or someone you know and love, if you rent residential property anywhere, ask your landlord to verbalize the landlord's policy on bugs. The current landlord, the story that you're going to hear today, the last landlord, you're going to hear a reference to the last landlord today for sure. I did not question their bug policies, and I learned my lesson. But the lesson to be learned is ask. I have been renting property, residential living property, for the last 37 years in Cincinnati, where I am today. And I know how to rent. At least I thought I knew how to rent or lease, because I did not pursue the bug policy. Well, okay, here we go. I guess it's time for a quick history of today's event, today's story. 3 years ago, my landlord, who I promised I would not name, and you'll hear about that later, when I told the landlord that there's bugs coming out of my water plumbing and out of the electrical, it's freaking me out. So I don't know how long it took him to get over, but he came over with his Ghostbuster attire and sprayed the baseboards of the apartment. with the biggest smile on his face. And it was only a couple days that I contacted him. I don't even remember how, to let him know that any of the bugs that were in the floor, coming through the floor, uh, you got them. They're probably gone now, but they're still coming out of the walls or somewhere. I didn't know at that point. Well, no, they were coming out of the pipes and the electrical at that time. So time went on, and I didn't. I dealt with it. Well, I found that in year one, that as the weather got colder, I didn't see as many. That's a good sign. But I personally hate cold weather, so not a very good trade-off. But year two came, and I actually got the plumbing and electrical figured out. I even have a picture that I took way back then. Let's see how quickly I can get it here. Oh no, the first one that pops up is, this is what greeted me this morning. I got my trap set there, and this is what I woke up to this morning. Where is it? Well, I can't find it right now, but here is a in this bag. In this bag, still may be some live bugs. I don't know. They were live when I wrapped up the bag. Somehow I was able to get them in a bag, and it just so happens the bag is where I take. I mean, in there were my medications. So it was a great thing that I trapped them. I don't know. I don't want to open the bag. And I knocked the script off. Hold on one second. Looking down and see what else I wanted to show. Oh no, that I'll show you later because it's pertinent later. Oh, this is a good one. I can't tell if it's still in there. I was able to capture a bug in my refrigerator, inside my refrigerator, the replacement refrigerator that the landlord made 2 weeks ago, just before the bug guy, Delhi Pest Control came. You're going to hear about that because it's very pertinent. But today, I opened my refrigerator door, the one he replaced, and I was greeted by a bug that was in here. Bill, my neighbor, and I are trying to figure out, with a refrigerator that was just installed a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I guess 2 weeks ago now. I know how they're getting into the apartment. We're trying to figure out how they got into the refrigerator. Oh, Lord. Okay, so we might as well get into the email. Okay, so obviously I was able to get the attention of the landlord because he sent me a message saying that Delhi Pest Control will be available at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Will you? And I guess it is time, before I actually get into the story, I have to do a disclaimer. I created a disclaimer. My story will name my landlord from Ridge Road. That was the last lease. As I challenged his bed bugs, oh my Lord. I don't want to tell too much about that story, other than I took it to court. I took it to small claims court, and I had to do some research because I didn't have it on file here, but court case number DCV 10323. I took the landlord to court and won, albeit it was a small decision. It was a small award, or maybe I don't know. There's some very serious questions, because the filing, the copy of the filing that I found online yesterday said that it was for a $6,000 decision, which indeed it was, but I did not get $6,000. The landlord only paid me a very, very small percentage of that, about $200. But the judge, it wasn't a judge, it was a magistrate. She said, I'm allowing only what the law allows. If I could allow more, I would. was her exact words. Okay. My story will specifically name Delhi Pest Control, which it already has, because they were brought in with the landlord, came together to assess the situation or see what was going on, or I don't know what they did. I know what they didn't do, but I don't know what they did down there. And I sent this. I actually sent this to the landlord. I sent what I'm reading to you to the landlord. If they wanted to add something to the story, here was the opportunity to do so. I did say that I would not mention the name of the company that owns the building, or its owner, who I actually have been kind of friends with him. But as I saw 3 years ago how he handles problems, that friendship, well, I don't, serious trust issues. Okay. And I said, I will wait for feedback from this video, especially from attorneys I know who will view it. So the feedback that I would really like from this video is any pest control company, service provider, what would you do? What would you do in this situation? Well, I'm not going to ask that question. And also, attorneys, flashing back to the last landlord, we went into small claims court. So I didn't need an attorney. You do not need to bring an attorney to small claims court. The landlord did. The landlord, I don't know what the hourly was of that attorney, but the landlord definitely lost big time. The landlord allowed a countersuit to be filed, and as he was reading the countersuit, I happened to catch. I looked straight at the magistrate, and she looked straight at me, and we both rolled our eyes. That he was actually probably perjuring himself, but it didn't matter. Okay, so then you need to hear this last paragraph because it's pertinent to something that might happen in the future. September rent now due. It's in September. If I do not have $25,000 in cash. Now, the reason I said that is I have told the landlord that in order for me to move out of this apartment, which I definitely want to do, and I'm going to do, I need that amount of cash to do it. That's just the way my life is right now. So that's why I mentioned that. And he knows exactly, because I've said it to him at least once and maybe more than once before September 11th. Now, September 11th, for the last 2 years, not quite 2 years, I have been subtracting my rent to him on the day that I get my Social Security check. It can fluctuate, but it can't be later than the 14th of a month. But prior to that, he was getting my rent check 2 weeks before it was due. That's how I was doing it, because that's how I keep books. That's how I account for everything. So if I do not get my social, I will remit my usual $525 under protest, which I did last month. I submitted last month's rent under protest. Under protest means that, yeah, you'll pay it, but you can always create an escrow account to put your money. I don't even know that anymore because I've never tried to do it. I don't know what the law is today, but there's a story there that I won't share with you. Okay, so, and then I said I'm going to continue until, at the time I wrote this, I said I'm going to continue taking pictures, trapping bugs. Oh Lord. Ooh, that just fell out. Oh. I gotta get rid of this because it's getting really ugly. There is a dead bug on my desk. Actually, and that was a picture that was taken at 1:30 a.m. on 8/15. Let me stop here and tell a side story to that. I haven't seen him today. I haven't seen one today. I did not. I might have seen one yesterday, but I used they were coming up to the computer to where I was working. I watch bugs, and they move so fast. They move as fast as insects fly. I try, by the time I get something to try to get rid of them, they're gone, long gone. Oh, it's another thing I wanted to share. This is forensic evidence. This once was a very fine Italian pasta, but in the last for an attempt to, I don't know how many of the last 250 bugs that I've seen that this has tried to slaughter, but there's a lot. So I have to keep this for forensic evidence because I don't know where DNA technology is today, or maybe there's a lesson to be learned here. We'll keep that. Oh my Lord. Will it ever end? Oh, this final comment. Close your eyes and ears because it's not very pleasant. I have bug bites on my body. There's no question in my mind. And as hot as it is in Cincinnati, Ohio, I have to protect as much of my body as I can so the bugs don't bite me. It's that bad. But the last 2 nights, I am winning that battle. I have figured out a new system. Okay, so on Sunday, September 1st, I sent a status update to the landlord. It was on the landlord's email address. Bugs in capital letters are coming earlier and staying later. Just today, I attempted to mutilize 6 bugs at my laptop in my studio bedroom, and I'm still trying to figure out how they're getting in here. It has to be on the other side of the wall where I showed I had mentioned him, where I showed the landlord absolutely where 2 bugs were coming in to 2 areas behind the refrigerator that he replaced, where they were coming in, and what his decision to do was on that prior to him bringing in, it had to be prior to him bringing in Delhi Pest Control. Okay, well, I said the reason being, the landlord went ahead and pushed the replacement refrigerator back into place without even looking at something I was showing the landlord where bugs, and it was way above the baseboards. Way above. I mean, it was 6 feet above the baseboards. So the baseboard philosophy, and this is why I want pest control folks to respond to this video, if they so desire, that I don't know where technology is today. I have no idea. What I do know is that the bed bugs, no, that was the last apartment. The water bugs, the water bugs coming in to my apartment. I don't know. Please help me. Well, maybe the weather is getting rid of them. Maybe, and maybe I'm going to get $25,000 in cash to get out of here. Maybe I'll do a GoFundMe for $25,000 if you want to help poor David get out of here. Okay, so after I wrote that, here's the response that I got back from a representative of the landlord, the same individual with whom I signed the original lease with, the lease I didn't even read. Shame on me. Didn't even read. I needed the location. We'll get back to that in a sec. Okay. Thanks for the email. I spoke to the landlord, and he stated that he'd be more than willing to have an exterminator come back. Well, interesting. I'm saying I don't know if he was referencing if he was referencing Delhi uh, uh, pest control, who will not, as long as I'm living here, will not be allowed. It'll take a court order to have them come in to do any kind of whatever they're going to do in my place. Um, we're happy to assist you with this, but part as a resident, I guess this is the part that I didn't read close enough in his lease, is to maintain a tidy enough dwelling for spraying to be effective. Spraying to be effective. Mark sprayed 3 years ago under the at the baseboard, and it wasn't effective. All it did was it brought out bugs that were near the baseboard. I have not seen one. I've not seen one. I did see it. No, I take that back. This morning I saw not a typical bug. I saw another kind of bug that was on the floor. So it could have come out. That's what I saw. Please let us know when you are able to move items away from the baseboard, and I will organize. Wow. Landlord, if you happen to see this YouTube, I'm not going to send an email. I don't even know that I'm going to send a link to the YouTube for you to that's your job, not my job necessarily to do it that way. So no, there will not be any future email about me. This YouTube tells my story. I'm going to stick to it. Okay, so there's one other thing that I think the thing that I forgot to tell, and at this point not pertinent to the discussion. Apparently, I must have signed a copy of the lease with. I was going to tell you why I moved here. Why living at this address was the most important thing to me, because the YMCA up the street was a 5-minute walk, actually a 5-minute bike ride up the street. And that was much better for me than getting on a bus back and forth 80 times a month from the community, the last community where I had to leave because of bugs, getting on a bus 80 times. So it was a very practical decision for me. Time saved, 1 million hours of time. I don't know how much time, but I signed the lease for this apartment in May of 2019. As the rest of the world knows, on the first weekend in March 2020, it was the first official weekend of the pandemic. And I was immediately, permanently laid off from that job, that income, that love of teaching and facilitating and working with folks, specifically baby boomers, to build a quality life for themselves. I've been doing it, and more than happy to share the experience of doing it somehow. Maybe I'll create a website that you have to pay to get into. How much would that be worth for you? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. That was a court case. Oh, I didn't go into a whole lot of detail about the bed bugs there, and it is very impertinent, very pertinent to my mindset today. Back then, when I registered a complaint with the landlord that bed bugs were coming into my apartment from no question about it, from the ceiling above, because there was always a bunch, lots, hundreds of bed bugs up in the ceiling. Fortunately, not many, enough to do damage, enough to do a lot of damage, got down into my apartment. And the weird thing about those, and no one's ever explained this to me. I had a kitty cat back then, and she, for the entire time, which was 6 or 7 months, never had one bed bug incident that she talked to me about. So that was amazing to me. And maybe the smell of blood is different. Well, not maybe, I'm sure it is. The smell of blood is different in a human being than it is in an animal. For sure it is in mine. For sure it is in mine. That's a whole nother story. But at least the landlord sent some pest control people out for 3 treatments, pre-decided 3 treatments. And so I got to know the pest control guy pretty well, because I wanted to know as much as I could about what was going on. And when he actually told me in treatment number 2, and for sure in treatment number 3, that 3 treatments were not going to take care of the problem. He told me that before he left my apartment. I said, okay, well, in your expert opinion. And he was right. And so when I re-complained to the landlord, at that time their name was Cincinnati Rentals, I think. Cincinnati Realty. We went to court, and I won a decision. Of course, documented with pictures, and I don't know if I took any videos back then. For sure, I took pictures. And to that point, they should be around somewhere. And that was many smartphones ago. So I don't know where they are. Summation, the point being, the takeaway. I don't know what bug policy is today. I definitely didn't know it 6 years ago, or no, actually longer than that, 7, 8 years ago, and 5 years ago. But please, if you are a renter of property, get a verbalization from the landlord what the bug policy is, and record it. I doubt they will put it in writing, but if they put it in writing, great. It's even better if they put it in writing. So it's important, and it's been challenging to do this script because there's so much documentation. I don't want to say it's been fun, but maybe it was fun. I wasn't living like it was fun. So Thank you for almost 35 minutes of your time. I specifically did not do a Facebook Live for this YouTube, which I typically do because that's what I do when I live stream. I'm on YouTube and Facebook Live and LinkedIn. I had a third computer. Since I don't have a third computer on a delayed basis, by that time it would definitely be a podcast. Oh, I'll close with my podcast story. Friends and followers have told me that I should do a podcast, and my answer is always the same. I'm too busy doing what I do now, and I don't want to have to worry about a podcast. But here's my solution. Instead of a podcast, maybe it's an audio book. It's an audio presentation rather than video and audio, including audio. So the podcast audio only version of this YouTube is get your favorite adult beverage. If you want to listen to the whole podcast story, it's 36 minutes. Close your eyes, have to close your eyes. And in the podcast version, audio, it's the fun version. So it's meant to entertain you. I guess that's the difference. So thank you for your time. And the next time, please come and visit. At David Leopold is my YouTube channel. The live portion, there's tabs up at the top. The live are today's video and ones that are thought videos that I want, other than my topic matter. And then if you go to the live or the stream, it actually says stream tab. It then has all the every Saturday, a Small Business Saturday broadcasts, as well as many 19-minute marketing and sales, value, trust conversations, which are your story, not my story, your story. We'll have lots of those on this YouTube channel also. That's part of what we're trying to do. So we'll see you soon and enjoy your day.